Hello everyone, John Vaughn with the Harper team at eXp Realty. Welcome to today's installment of What's Broken Now Around the House. Today it looks like our washing machine is leaking, so I'm going to do what I can to troubleshoot it and see if I can fix it. If you're like me, you're one of those people I'd rather fix something than buy something brand new or pay an expensive repairman to come out here and tell you that it's broken. So I'm going to start to troubleshoot this and determine whether or not it's actually worth fixing on my own. Here's where we discovered the leak, down here on the floor. We're trying to determine where it comes from. First thing to check, obviously, are your on-off water valves for the hot water and cold water. They seem to be okay. Nothing was leaking out of these. This is how we turn them off when we need to. Quarter turn, turns it off. The discharge hose that goes to the washer itself, and we've got the plug-in. We originally had thought that maybe this discharge line, which is what was leaking, as it's going in here, and we noticed the water over on that side. The other place to check are where the water supply lines connect to the washing machine. They were dry, and also nothing was leaking out of those. So the first thing is determine where the leak is coming from. Basically have to take off this panel right here, and there's 4 screws all around the panel. We'll take that off to get access to the inside. What I want to do first is just take this panel off, and once I get it off, we have access to the inside. Originally I noticed that there's water right down here, and I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's where it is dripping from. So determined that it actually wasn't from this drain hose as that comes in and goes to the very front of the washer. The drip is coming from behind. So then we wondered whether or not it was the drum assembly, and then found out after further inspection that up here there's a drip that's coming, which is close to the cold water supply line on the outside of the machine. Like I said, it was going to be difficult to get to that from this area here. So on this particular machine, we have 2 screws on this side, and there were 2 screws on that side. I've already taken the right one off, but I'll just remove these screws. And take that off. Fortunately, this top panel, if you put a little pressure on it, just slides right off, which made access to the inside much nicer. After further inspection, you can notice that right here, there is water that's pooling. It looks like at this point it's just a slow leak. So I'm not so sure about this mechanism, how long this whole thing would last. Obviously the quick fix might be to dry this and put some silicone caulk in there and call it good. But I'm not sure I want to take that chance, depending on how much longer this would last, especially with these other valves, inlet valves that might go bad also. Taking anything apart, I always take a picture of where everything goes. That way you know when you put in a new part, you got everything connected. It looks like it's just going to be these 3 wire connectors that will come apart, and then we've got 4 hoses on it. So I need to make sure I mark those hoses, take note of where those go when I get the new inlet. I basically determined or got the model number of my washing machine, went online and found a parts supply place that had 2 different parts. One was an OEM part for $70. One was a cheaper part for $40. So I opted for the $40 part. It seemed to me that would be worth doing it myself. This looks relatively easy to remove. There's a couple of screws that are on the back right here. And then once the hoses are removed and the wire connectors are removed, that should come right out. Of course, before I do that, I want to make sure that everything is turned off as far as the water supply lines, and unplug the electrical cord so I don't become a Darwin Award winner. Once I get the new part in, I'll continue the video. Okay, so it's been about a week and a half since I started this, basically waiting for parts. This is a part that was shipped originally, and as you can see, it was damaged in shipping, or maybe they even sent it to me like that. But it came in this box. This was the cheaper one. And then the original equipment manufacturer, or the OEM part, came in this nice LG box. Everything looks to be in good shape, like it's brand new. So maybe just word for the wise that it's better to buy or spend an extra $30 buying one that's actually from the manufacturer itself. This one may be a remanufactured part, you never know. So next I'm going to go ahead and move everything out of the way, start the repair process. Okay, so I've removed the top of the washing machine again, and as earlier indicated that the leak was actually right here. So my temporary fix was to put some silicone caulk in there. It actually isn't a good enough fix because it does leak a little bit. So replacing this part is going to be the best thing to do. So I did label each thing right, middle, left. I also labeled the 3 hoses that I'm going to take off, and I've also taken a picture of this so that I can reference it in case I need to. But the first thing I'm going to do is unplug the washing machine, and then I'm going to turn off both water supply lines, and then I'm going to remove this right here. Okay, so I've got the new part here. These clamps right here, you just kind of pinch them with some pliers, and I moved them back on the hose and then just took the hoses off and put them back on. And now I'm going to go ahead and put this back on through here. Okay, so I now have the hose reconnected that I took off. So let's turn the water back on to see if we have any issues with leaking inside before I put it back together. Not seeing anything that's leaking. So I'm going to go ahead and clean it up and reassemble everything, and that should take care of this particular washing machine issue. Okay, well that concludes the washing machine fixed. I replaced the inlet diverter valve. Basically, project length of time for total completion when I started was about a week and a half, but that included a lot of dead time for getting parts. Total time for the project, probably about an hour and a half, troubleshooting, to taking out the old part, to putting in the new part, to testing it, etc. Level of difficulty on this project, I'm giving it a 4 to 5 out of 10. And then the total cost for the project was about $90 for the new part that I ordered. If you want to check out this video or other videos I have, go to myboulderhome.com and you can see everything there. Thanks a lot. Take care.